What's up, guys? Sorry for the crudity of these videos, but for a while, in order to catch us back up, I've explained this a couple of times. I had some money issues. I had an accident where I got kind of injured. I've been on overtime like crazy on my job. This is not my job. I don't get paid to do YouTube, and because of that, there's certain circumstances that befall me, such as you're hearing a difference in the sound quality. That's because I'm going to do the webcam for a little bit, just to catch us back up, and the fact that all the equipment is no longer currently in the studio. It has been moved because I couldn't be a part of the last couple shows for Fandom Night, and that had to go to a different place. So while that is going on, we are still going to continue to keep up with the X-Men, but while we do that, we're going to have to do it this way. Just for a little while, bear with me. I'll get back to the basics and the way that these videos are supposed to be done. But with everything that happened to me, we are... Hold on. It's really tough to pick up. We are this far behind in the X-Men. That's not keeping up at all. So let's go ahead and try to do some keeping up. So... anyways, we're starting here. This is Jean Grey. This is issue 10. And yes, after this book, there's one more. That's it. From what I understand, Jean Grey issue 11 is going to be the last time. Now, this whole thing starts out, they're under attack by the Phoenix Force. It's ridiculous. It's giant. There's fire everywhere. It's not the most great thing that they have ever survived in their entire lives. This is scary stuff. There's fire in the forest and it's scary. So... anyways, Jean Grey basically takes up arms. Like, I'm not kidding. That's not even an exaggeration. She takes up arms. All the little things that we've been building up to throughout the course of this saga, I guess, is, well, she started learning how to make telekinetic weapons and different things of that nature. And sure enough, she dons telekinetic weapons and she takes to the battlefield. That's pretty sweet. So she jumps up. She attempts to fight. She attempts to fight the Phoenix. Pickles comes in on her back. And Pickles, like, poofs in. And then he sees the Phoenix. And there's just fire everywhere. And he's like, ah! And he's like, get me the shit out of here. This is not good for anybody. So he ports him out. Poof! And they go basically, where is this? Alberta, Canada. Now, this is where the Weapon X facility was. The same Weapon X facility that I believe housed Wolverine, and the same Weapon X facility that I believe was the place that was turned into Scott's school. When Scott and Magneto were together, I believe that was, this was not long ago at all. I'm trying to remember if the name of the run was Uncanny. I think it was Uncanny X-Men. Having trouble remembering, but it's the same. It's the same. It was running alongside the all-new X-Men and whatnot. But this is the place that was returned into a school or base of operations, even though it was given like the Xavier Institute name or something like that. Yeah, abandoned new Xavier School. And say what you will about it, I saw it more as a fortress of operations. But that's what they wanted to call it, and Scott was the one that got to call it, and whatever. So, anyways. They go there, they start getting some equipment ready, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do against the Phoenix when it breaks into the wall. Boom! It comes in there. It's scary crap. It's not good for anybody. Bam! Raw, bird speak. Now it comes in there and it's tearing things up. And while it's tearing everything up, the girls take to it. They're like, okay, it's time. It's time. This is it. This is our stand the grounds moment. And the whole time, adult Jean, spirit adult Jean is telling her, we got to go. This is not good. We got to go. We got to get away because it wants you. It's going to do nothing but tear through them to get to you. We got to go. And she's like, I'll handle this. We're going to do this. So she takes this telekinetic pike thing that I guess Cable had. I don't see Scimitar, and she blasts the Phoenix. Boom! She blows a hole through it. The Phoenix bites a hold of like Firebeak bites Hope and kind of throws her to the side. Boom! She's done. Now, while this is all going on, of course, adult Jean is freaking out, and in walks Emma, and she's got the creepy triplet brigade, and they start busting out the psi wave things. This happens. It's happening, okay? So, anyways, as they're blowing out the psi wave things, she creates like this force field of telekinetic energy. She jumps up and she stabs the Phoenix Force right in the top of the right back here in the back of the neck. It freaks out and it takes out into the, like, blows out the top of the Xavier School and flies off into the coldness, Canada. I don't know what I'm supposed to call that. It's forest and it's all ice and everything. I don't know if it has a specific name. I don't think it's not a tundra or anything like that. I don't know what it's called. It goes outside. Now, while it goes outside, she ropes its neck with like a telekinetic lasso, and she takes it into the ground. Boom! And they crash, and the whole time adult Jean is screaming like, Jean, oh my God, this is not good. And it doesn't seem right. It's not taking her over like normally it would. This is an actual fight. She is fighting the Phoenix Force, and the Phoenix Force seems to be fighting her back. It's not the same thing. So Jean steps in front of it. Adult Jean steps in front of the Phoenix Force, throws her arms out, and she's like, listen, take me. She's too young. You'll burn her out. There's nothing you can do here. I'm the thing that you want. Take me. Bring me back. She is not going to be able to survive this. You'll kill her. You'll end her. This is not good. And then it basically tells her, the Phoenix Force tells her, that's what I'm here to do. I have no interest in her. My interest is specifically to burn her out, to be done with her. And Jean is like, oh my God. And she tries to scream back. She's like, get out of here. But it's too late. The Phoenix Force grabs a hold of her. It goes into her. She explodes with the Phoenix power. She's all kinds of, it doesn't feel good. It's not the greatest feeling you've ever had in your life. And then, surprisingly, she bursts into fire. Like, hardcore bursts into fire. Like, yeah. That. Now, this is crazy. I covered up that page because I don't want to show you everything the book has to offer. I want you to be able to buy these books. The end of this book gives us the idea that young Jean Grey is dead. And it shows adult Jean, and she's kind of collapsed onto the ground in her hands, and she's got like this defeated look. And it's kind of surreal. It gives you the idea that Jean Grey is dead. Now, could she be dead? Yeah, it's possible. She could be dead, but let us be honest here for a minute. Let us really think about this. The chances that they killed young Jean Grey. Send her home? Sure, that's possible. I see that. That's possible. Kill her outright? Make her dead? I don't know. That seems far-fetched to me. Seems like one of those comic book gimmicks that I'm not going to believe. Now, at the same time, there has been an awful lot of talk about removing these X-Men, these time-displaced X-Men, to basically boot them from the series, to be done with them. And if that's what they're going for here, I guess they accomplished part of it. Now, the last Jean Grey book is not supposed to take place. I don't even think it gets released until all of this Phoenix Resurrection stuff is done. Because technically, at the end of that book, it tells you to check out Phoenix Resurrection. And we have been doing that. We started it, and I'm going to go into the other books very soon. But while this is going on, we are to assume that the young, time-displaced Jean Grey is dead. And if she's time displaced, now there was a lot of talk when they first came around that if the younger versions of them died, the older versions would die too. And we even saw that might actually be a real thing when Scott almost got killed. Young Scott had almost killed old Scott, or adult Scott. Old Scott's not right because they're all supposedly only in their 30s or some crap like that, so whatever. And now if this is true, if we were to believe that they are the time-displaced people. And then whatever happened because they went back to the past and they saw that they were already there, which they're going into what that was in the X-Men Blue. Now, the explanation that we get in X-Men Blue is pretty interesting, but it doesn't change the fact that if these guys really are the time-displaced members, and they weren't there to do what they were supposed to do, but then somehow time has not reset. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. And maybe if we kill them, there's no repercussion. But I don't know. I feel like something should be done to bring them home, but you can't just send them home now. I mean, I guess you could wipe their memories and send them home, but they are older than they used to be, and on top of that, there's some concerning changes to the team, like the fact that there is another member that wasn't there, and where does she go? Where does Bloodstorm go? Does she just get deposited into the 616 and she remains as a normal member? I don't know. I don't know what you do with her. And then not just her, but Jimmy as well. Where's Jimmy go? Jimmy can't go back to the Ultimate Universe, from what I understand. It's not there anymore. But then there's other characters that keep coming looking for Jimmy, which makes me feel like the Ultimate Universe is there, and maybe you guys know. I don't know. From what I understand, the Ultimate Universe was destroyed. If it's not, if it's still there, then I guess Jimmy could go home. Do we want to do that? Do we want to boot them now that we've already got them here? We got this thing going and the story's going well? I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe some people do. Look, guys, that's it. We still have a lot of ground to cover, so we got a lot of ground to cover. So I can't really stick on this book forever. Just a couple things. I don't think that they're just going to wipe her out like that. If nothing else, I feel like there's a storyline that's going to take place. It's going to send her home or something like that. I can't see that they just killed the young Jean Grey. I really can't. And if they did, it probably doesn't matter, because from what I understand, Jean Grey is going to be coming back as the Phoenix. Not like the Phoenix brings Jean Grey back. I heard she's going to hold the power of the Phoenix. And if that's true, she could just bring her younger self back to life. Like, bam, big old fire thing. There you go. Now go back to where you're supposed to go and leave us be, because we're going to do our thing here. And then she could just be like, bam, there's old Scott, adult Scott. Now you got adult Scott. You could do a million different things. That could be the way that Professor Xavier actually comes back. Because right now they're doing a weird thing where he's like in the body of Phantom X, but then there's pictures that are showing us, if you've been following me on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. There's pictures that show that Professor Xavier is a part of the Astonishing team. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens, guys. Like I said, can't stay here forever. We got a lot of ground to cover with this here X-Men. You are now all caught up, literally, with Jean Grey. Later on.